Hello and welcome to another enthralling episode of Beyond Boundaries. This talk show is brought to you by Worldwide Scholarly Alliance and Silver Zone Olympiads. This space has been created for all the educators and edu leaders who are doing so much in the field of school education, but their stories are unheard. So we have made this space specially for them so that their stories can be heard in their own voices. I am Anushree, your host, and today I am here at the Shri Ram Universal School, Greater Noida West, in the graceful presence of Mrs. Jyoti Rana, the founder principal of the school. Very welcome, ma'am.
Namaste. Thank you for having me.
Ma'am has an extensive 25 years of experience heading top schools in the country, like I believe the Army Public School Noida, Jaipuriya Vidyalaya, and Ran International School. What an honor to be here with you, ma'am, today.
Thank you.
So let's begin the conversation, ma'am.
Sure.
Ma'am, as I entered your school, one thing that I heard echoing around was Namaste. So what was that about?
Okay. So Namaste is part of our core value to inculcate our heritage into our school culture and the ethos. This was something which was started by Mrs. Manju Bharatram, who is the founder of the Shri Ram schools, and the legacy continues. And Namaste is not only something that is taught to the children, it is something which we feel when we fold our hands and welcome somebody, we are surrendering ourselves to them. So we are just trying to spread a little bit of our cultural heritage and humility in our children.
Wonderful. So ma'am, let's begin with a very basic question I have for you. What does being an educator mean to you?
Okay, so the very first thing is being an educator is a huge responsibility. And the responsibility is that of making sure that no child is left behind. The responsibility is that of ensuring that you are able to reach out to each child in the way they will grow and the way they will flourish. So I feel responsibility is the only thing we can talk about being an educator. And the side effects of it are you have so much fun doing it. There is so much enjoyment. You feel so proud when your kids do well. It's like, you create such a large family for yourself. You don't know which side you'll turn on the road or in the mall and somebody will come and either, touch your feet or greet or point out and say, oh, that's my principal, that's my teacher. So those are the side effects of the huge responsibility. It is the best feeling.
So yeah, we have these pillars of development. I believe teachers are holding the most responsibility, right?
Yes. So I, in all my staff meetings, the first thing I tell my teachers is that you are not just teaching a child or a subject or a class. You are creating the future generation. It lies on your shoulders because that is from where the children will learn. When they grow up, these same kids are going to become politicians, they're going to become prime ministers, they're going to join the UN, they will become entrepreneurs, doctors, engineers. And if we didn't teach them right, then we are responsible for the society that we have. So teachers have a huge responsibility on them for creating this future.
So it's not something today, I wake up and today I'll become a teacher. ऐसा नहीं होता है.
No. I think teaching is a calling. It comes from within. You may decide to become a teacher. You may decide that, okay, I'll go ahead and do the course and I'll work with kids. But till the time it is ingrained in you, it is there in your blood, you can't become a great teacher. So it's either you are a teacher or you're not a teacher. The qualification is irrespective. It's a requirement.
Very wonderfully explained, ma'am. So ma'am, जब आप बड़े हो रहे थे तो आपकी कोई ऐसी inspiration, a teacher that you loved the most and you were like, इनके जैसे बनना है मुझे?
Yes, in fact, my biology teacher in class 11th and 12th, Mrs. Sahi. So there have been plenty and many teachers. Each teacher has touched me in their own unique way, and the way my personality is what our teachers have made it. But Mrs. Sahi from Army Public School, Dalakuan, that's where I passed out. She was one person who was most inspirational she was a toughie though, but somehow, just looking at her made our day. And I tried to emulate a lot of her, the way she would speak, the way she would walk, and how she would tackle situations. So she was a toughie, but there were times when she would just, turn around and make a joke of little things, and we thought we were going to get really scolded for whatever situation was in the class. But she'd turn around and take it so lightly that it just lightened our mood, and, you could focus on your studies. So that, I think, ma'am has been a great inspiration.
Okay. Ma'am, so what kind of student were you? The one who gets rebuked a lot?
I think I liked to participate in a lot of activities. So it was almost like 60% activities and 40% academics. Okay, so I would throw a tantrum if I did not get selected for a dance competition or something, literally. And the teachers would have to tell me, okay, maybe you were not that good that you were not in the team. So I wanted to be on the stage all the time for every program. I wanted to be in the sports. I've been a sports person, so I was the school's best basketball player in class 12th after playing for so many years in the school. And I think being in the sports and taking part in so many activities really helped, create the personality or the individual that I am. So I feel I never say no to anything. So that probably came from the fact that I was all out participating in so many activities. It gave me the courage to take on challenges. Also, I think playing in a team game also helped me to build my qualities of leadership, how to work with different people, because when you're playing in a team, even though you are playing for a common goal, but you individually too had to shine, and there are players who are far better than you. So you could either support them and get to the top, or you could try and show your own talent and the team fails. So that was something which we learned as a team player, that you have to support the best player, only then will the team win. Because and that is also learned through practice or through trial and error method. There are times when you thought that, let me take the ball and I will shoot and I will, get the score, and you didn't. And then you realize, so next time you're more cautious. So I think all these little things have helped to become a better educator. I think all these things added to my perspective of becoming a better educator, I guess.
So ma'am, what was that age or moment you decided कि मुझे तो teacher ही बनना है?
I think it was in first year or second year I decided that I wanted to become a teacher. Initially, I wanted to become a B.Ed lecturer. I wanted to become the teacher trainer. Yes. And then I think, life has other plans for you. So I joined a school. I did my B.Ed. I joined a school. And I enjoyed working with kids so much that, it was after years and years that I realized that, there was one time when I wanted to become a lecturer. It was long time ago that I decided I wanted to be a teacher.
Wonderful. And children have that in them, they attract you. If you click with them, yes, then there's no turning back.
Yeah. So when I was pretty young, probably just in my early 20s, I had the confidence of being able to calm any child, in our neighborhood or around any little child, and I'd be friends with them in 2 minutes.
That's just amazing.
Yes, and I didn't know that I had that kind of patience, because I'm generally not known for my patience. But with kids around, I became friends with them. They are so calm when they are around me, or I just know how to tackle and give them situations where, the children will just start enjoying themselves. So probably that also helped in a way to, choose this as a career and stick around for so many years.
Wonderful. So ma'am, how important was your family's and friends' role in shaping your career?
Okay, so I think for any individual to be successful in whatever line they choose, the first support needs to come from the family. And my family has been so supportive. I feel my mother and my father's given us the freedom to do whatever we wanted. My mother allowed us to take those opportunities, but she also kept us very grounded. She didn't let us really fly, too high. And when I say fly too high means not be very proud, or, just you have an achievement and then you feel, okay, that's done. Her policy is, okay, you did it, done. Now what's your next step? So that was something I feel really helped us to keep exploring and taking challenges. We were never, even I'm talking about my siblings too here, we were never happy with one achievement or one goal. And achievement did not mean winning an award. Achievement was just like, okay, reading a book. That was also an achievement, right? So that was something which my mother has taught us, and father has been very supportive and given us the freedom. My siblings, on the other hand, are those who also, keep pushing you. Okay, go ahead. Of course you can do it. This is better.
So wonderful.
Yeah. So we have that kind of a bond. And as far as my friends go, I don't have a very large group of friends, but the friends that I have are some of them are right from school. We were together right from class 8. And then I have some friends from college and some colleagues who I started my career with. They've all been so supportive. They've all been so kind and generous in, supporting you, guiding you, sending you information where it was required. So I think one needs to surround themselves with positive people, and only then can you be happy and successful in your life.
So I can see that your family values, you've carried them through, and I think you practice them in your school as well.
We do.
Yeah?
Yes.
So ma'am, one message that you live by and you would want to give your students.
Okay. So I always tell my children, try and achieve more than your potential.
Okay, that's new.
In anything, say today I was able to read 2 pages, tomorrow I can try and read 3.
Okay.
Today I was able to draw this wonderful drawing. Tomorrow I can, work better upon it. Today I was able to score 1 goal, and tomorrow I should try and score 2. So when we know what our potential is, and then we should not be just satisfied with that. We need to better it, because the competition is not with outside. The competition is with us. That's the only way I can get better with myself. And I think that is something which probably I had heard when during school days we had Spick McKay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Shri Ravi Shankar ji was there, the sitar maestro. And probably I was in class 7 or 8 maybe. And he said that he does riyaz for 8 hours. And at that time I was like, who practices for 8 hours, 8 hours is like really something.
Yeah.
But now when you grow up and you go into the workforce and, you face challenges, and that's when you realize that you can only better yourself by trying to do more than what you achieved yesterday. So that's my message to my children, that's my message to myself and everybody who I meet.
Wonderful. It's actually a very different approach, because what we often hear is, don't spread your legs beyond your measures. But what you are saying is that, no, you have the potential and you should strive for it.
Absolutely.
So ma'am, in your 25 years of experience, have you had any funny incidences or not so funny incidences that you would like to share?
Funny incidences have been plenty. With children around, you can never be sure what happens and how things go. They can really surprise you every time. So I think the funniest incident would be when we had organized Navratri gala for our kids in the evening after school hours, and suddenly when I walked in, the DJ started playing a song which I didn't know, I did not know that I was not sure how they knew this is the song that I enjoy.
Okay.
And he says, okay, this one is for our principal ma'am, and here she walks in. I was so surprised and taken aback because I never discussed, Bollywood movies and songs. And in fact, in schools, we discourage programs that are based around Bollywood songs. We try and look for other songs. So I was so surprised. How did they know? Where did they guess it from? Or how did they overhear? And later on, I asked the child, and they said, the music teacher and the child, both of them were together. They said, no, ma'am, we just guessed this will be one of your favorite songs because it's energetic and fast-paced. And the other funny incident, this also I must share with you. In my previous school, we had this prayer songs being sung in the assembly, and the senior kids, they don't like to sing or perform the actions. So I said, okay, let's choose a song of your choice, and I'll play it in the morning assembly and you can dance on it. And you know what the common theme came back? Sheila. I really didn't know what this Sheila song is. Okay, so the music teacher shakes his head and he says, no, ma'am. I said, okay, all right, I'll find out what this is. And when I saw the song, I was like, where am I living? How come I did not know that this song is so famous and known by the kids? Because I don't watch a lot of movies and all.
Yeah.
So I did not know that. So then we chose some, sensible song for them, Bollywood song, and we just played a little snippet for the kids to follow it. And then I said, now, you must be a part of the assembly. You must, do your actions.
That was actually wonderful because when children are heard,
Yes,
they hear you.
they do.
Yeah.
And this was not an original idea. I must confess to that. The principal I worked under, Mrs. Anuradha Sharma, she also did that. So that's where I picked it up from.
Okay.
And I remembered it. So she also followed the same once, in the many years that I worked with ma'am. And that is what happened in assembly. So while I was a teacher under her, and I remembered and I recalled, and that really made a lot of difference.
It does. Yeah. Children feel more connected and,
They do.
like heard.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, and you must have surfaced and served through so many challenges and hurdles. So, as a principal, what is that one hurdle that, still, you think about and it still haunts you maybe?
Yes, the only thing that I think about and that haunts me is I hope I've not missed out supporting any child or helping any child where I could have given help. That is something I feel very deeply about, and I just pray to God that I don't have to regret any of the days that I was able to help a child and I did not.
That's actually very deep.
Yeah.
So that's one hurdle that
It is one of my biggest fear. Yeah, that we could have done something and we didn't do anything about it. That is my biggest fear.
But in your cognizance, in your awareness, this has never happened, right?
No, it has never happened because we take very deep care. I think this whole lot of people who are principals, it's not an easy position to be at, but we just thrive on the challenges that come each day. Finding solutions, when we see our children doing so well, we feel so happy about it. And you will never hear us saying their children or, even in front of the parents, we say, my child. So it's only when we take them as our own can we really care for the children.
So you see yourself as a problem solver then? Is that right?
Yes, in fact, it's funny that you bring it up. I tell my teachers that when, and children or all staff, that if you ever have a problem, if you ever feel that you can't find a solution, please come to me. I get paid to give solutions. Okay? We will sit down, we'll work it out, we'll talk to each other, we'll brainstorm, but don't ever be at a loss. So problem solving, I think each and every principal probably is world's greatest problem solver because they juggle multiple things at one go and they find multiple solutions. So I think that's one of the strong traits that principals have.
Yeah. So there's a child who falls, there's a fire somewhere, and they call you.
Yeah, so this is something which in a conversation came up with one of my friends long years ago, and we said that, principals are like, the principals are just putting out little fires all across the school all day long. All day long. And true to that, once you think about it, you realize, yes, that's how it is.
We all have dreams. I'm sure you also as a child would have had a dream. Are you living that dream right now?
So Steve Jobs said that when we are looking ahead into the future, we don't know where we are headed or what we have in store. But when we look back and we connect the dots, we realize, that's where we were supposed to be, and that's how we got to where we are. And I strongly connect with that. So yes, I don't think I would have been any happier in any other role. And it's not to say that I don't complain. Even I complain a lot of the times, about little things that could have happened in a better manner or something that we could have controlled. But when I look back at the end of the day, you feel so satisfied, you feel so happy that, you were able to achieve what you set out. When the kids do well, when they stand, when kids bring achievements, or when you meet some old students who reach great heights, they become bigger than you. They are at such great heights that you never thought as an individual you would reach, but that's when you realize that, we got there. So it's the effort of the children, it's the effort of the parents, it's the effort of the school.
The whole village.
The whole village. So, but you take personal pride in that achievement because you feel that that has something little from our end has helped. And so I've never regretted, being in this line, and I've never regretted being a principal. I don't think I could have done anything, or I could have been better than anything else.
Okay. There's a trophy behind you, and I believe your children brought that for you.
Yes, and this is our little ones from class 2 to class 8. This is for yoga.
Oh, wow. And we are promoting so much of yoga and Indian philosophy, Indian health policies. And
yes. So, the Shri Ram Universal School really prides itself in our cultural heritage.
Okay.
And it's not something which we do on special occasions. It's rolled into our curriculum. It's our core value. So we have indigenous games that children play.
Okay.
Yoga.
Like what?
Pittu.
Okay.
And Coco.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So these are the two games which our children play regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be surprised to know that there's a whole Pittu kit which is available in the market, and you don't need pebbles or stones anymore.
Oh, is that so?
So that is one. We are also trying to promote, aiming with a gulair.
Acha, okay.
So that
Gulair.
is, yes. You'd get a wise stick and then you...
Catapult.
Yeah. So gulair is what is the Indian term for it.
Yes.
And this is something which the sports teacher and us, we are trying to explore how we can, work on that. And yoga is something which is compulsory for all the children to participate. So we have 30-minute yoga period every day.
That's wonderful.
This is to do with our cultural heritage, but also we feel that a healthy mind resides in a healthy body. So we have a 45-minute physical education period for all children across all classes 3 times in a week.
Okay.
And it's the most beautiful sight to see all the kids on the field, divided into their different games. And you have all age groups playing. It's so much fun.
Ma'am, what does diversity look like in your school? Cultural, linguistic, heritage? Like, how do you bring everyone on the same platform?
So the Shri Ram Universal School is an inclusive school. And each individual working in the school, right from our Didis, Bhaiyas, drivers, conductors, and of course our admin and teaching staff, we strongly believe in inclusivity.
Okay.
I personally feel that we cannot, exclude a section of the society just because they don't fit into our usual, thought or idea. So we have special educators to support our kids with special needs. We have a counselor on board. We constantly keep in touch with the parents and provide support to our children with the special needs. In terms of linguistic, incidentally, we did have a child who, not one, actually many of our children who've come to us, some have come from abroad. Some of them have come from southern part of the India, where Hindi is something which was a little tough for them. And we put the parents at ease, telling them, don't worry, it's our task, to support the kid and get them to the level where they are supposed to be. And the teachers are so enthusiastically supporting the kids that I've not got a single concern from the parents saying, I think my child is not progressing as well as in Hindi, because the teachers take that extra time. They are really working with the kids. So yes. And if there are some children who probably can, learn with a better language, we do try to accommodate that for the time that we can.
And that actually, is an alignment with the NEP, right? Where language is actually now a part. Mother tongue influence is now not an influence anymore, it's an advice.
It is. In fact, you see, children will learn better when they learn in their mother tongue. And this was something which was being followed in North America, in European countries, Singapore. And I'm so glad that NEP identified and recognized that, and we now give importance to it.
Yeah, because India is linguistically so rich, and we're depriving our children of that opportunity to explore their thoughts, their learning in their language.
Absolutely.
So it's high time that we got it back.
I think cultural heritage is not only about our basic celebrations, it's also our food at home, it's our way of dressing, it's our language, all that needs to be preserved and promoted. And I'm glad everything happened at the right time.
Ma'am, I've heard about you that you're known as a curious leader and empath. So how do you bring these two attributes on the table?
Okay, so I'm an inherently curious individual. So if a bus breaks down, what went wrong is something which, a technician will tell. But I would like to know what went wrong and how it could be fixed, So that is like not my, it doesn't fall under my work purview. But I'm just curious to know how it works, because you never know, in a situation later on, you may be able to give your inputs or use that information somewhere else.
So it appears you look at every opportunity as a learning opportunity.
I do. I think all of us should look at every opportunity as a learning opportunity. Rather, here I would add something which I've also learned through my own experience. Individuals in today's day can only be successful if they are able to learn, unlearn, and relearn. They are the only ones who can adapt. Now, if you look back 5 years with COVID, switching to online learning and then going back to school, and how at this point of time, we've really imbibed both. We can seamlessly move from one to another.
Yes.
So that was something which, 5 years ago, if you mentioned that, probably, the teacher can teach the kids from home.
Unfathomable.
No, absolutely. So I think with this fast changing world, this philosophy of learning, unlearning and relearning is something which is what adaptability is all about. So that's what we need to teach our kids. We need to constantly give them a wide exposure. We need to constantly align them with the application of the concepts they are learning in class. And at the Shri Ram Universal School, we do that. We try and do that. We will try and take the children to the situation where something occurs. Say, for example, sometimes in the month of October, we plan to take them on a visit or a trek where they can explore the nature. And at that time, they can also study about constellations. They can learn about life skills of camping.
Okay.
So these are
holistic.
Holistic, because You don't know what the future has in store for our children. We don't know what the world will look like 15 years from now, right? So we have to make them ready to be able to take on any challenge that comes to us. And I think that's the biggest learning schools can give to their children.
And they should.
They should. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So ma'am, where does empathy come here? You're an empath, leader, principal.
So I think as a leader, empathy is one of the most important characteristics which one needs. You need to be able to first empathize with the values of your institution. Only then can you institute them. You need to empathize with the parents, with the children, with your staff.
Yes.
With society as a whole. If you're not able to empathize or put yourself in somebody else's shoes and think from their perspective, you will not be able to support them in any way.
Yes.
So I feel empathy is something which makes us a better leader. Empathy is something which makes us a better human being. So empathy is something which we also teach our kids. We try and inculcate this particular trait in our children.
Why do people feel that empathy is something that you're born with? It cannot be put into you. Is that right?
No, empathy is something which you learn by observing people around you.
Okay.
Empathy is something which can be taught. Right. For example, on birthdays, if I take my kids to a big store and tell them, okay, buy whatever gift you want to buy. On the other hand, we can sit down and we can discuss, okay, it's your birthday. What do you think you should do? There could be other kids who are not as lucky as you are, and would you like to share part of your birthday happiness with them? So that's teaching them empathy. We have special occasions. We can ask our children to get a gift for someone of their age. We can go to, there are so many places. There are so many organizations which are providing support and care for children.
Yes.
And the little that we are teaching our children is what helps them to empathize about them. Forming a buddy system.
Okay.
A child who needs support in some, say, academic work, and a child who's doing very well in that specific concept, you pair them up.
Okay.
So the child who's doing very well will be able to support the other child. That's only through empathy, when the child realizes what the other one doesn't know. And the fact that I may be doing well in one thing, but the other child can teach me something else.
Yeah. You've actually changed my perspective. I did not know. I too believe that empathy is something that you're born with. But if it's actually practically working for you and your school, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed.
Of course, some people are born with empathy.
Yeah.
That's how they become so great, great leaders. But it is something which...
Ma'am, so you touched upon COVID. During COVID times, you were going for online teaching. Now, what has come up is social media explosion.
Yes.
What is your take on that for students or in general?
So I feel, this is one part of our life or society which cannot be changed or controlled or tamed.
Okay.
Right. So we as a family, as a society, need to teach our children to sift what is important, what is worthwhile.
Okay.
We need to make them aware of how to use it to the best of their requirement. Because social media is something which you can't keep your kids away from it.
It's there.
It's there, right? You can only teach them, or you can make them aware of the dangers.
Yes.
You can make them aware of the negative effects of it. You can make them responsible enough to know what is good and what is bad, how to seek help if they get into trouble on the social media or networking sites, and how not to waste their time on it. So this is also something which needs to be practiced. It's a practiced art.
Yes.
And the funny part is that, if you go on to any of these social media networking sites and you're listening to some gurus about how to better your life, the first thing they tell you is, cut down on your social media.
Yeah.
But
ironically, they are there.
Ironically, they are there. So you have to go to the social media to even learn about, bettering your life.
Yeah.
So the only thing we as adults or educators can do is making our children aware of how to use it responsibly.
Yeah. So there is, we can't ignore it. It is there.
It is there.
Just need to live with it. Learn to live with it.
Because you see, today all assignments are done online.
Yes, yes.
So can you blame the child for going online and, deviating or straying? So the children need to know where to draw the line, and that can only be taught. That is something which can be taught. It can be taught through word, but it is better when it is taught through practice. As a teacher, if I'm scrolling on the phone when the children are writing a test, what message am I giving? Right?
Yes.
So that is something which we need to be very actively conscious of as teachers, educators, and parents.
Yes, ma'am. Now coming to parents, they are our major stakeholders, in the field of education. How do you bring them on at the same pace as you? I mean, they have their own expectations, sometimes unrealistic, sometimes it's challenging to convince them. So, as a school, how do you bring them on board?
Okay, so first of all, I think, like you said, they are the biggest stakeholders. They've handed over their most valuable possession to us, their children. It's a part of your heart to somebody to take care of it. So of course your expectations are going to be high.
Yeah.
But as an institution, as a school leader, it is our responsibility to hear them out, to listen to them, and give them the solutions or tell them your side of the story.
Yeah.
We can't just dismiss what parents bring on the table for their children, because after all, they have the largest stake in it, right? So first of all, personally as a leader and also as an institution, we do not take anything that the parents tell us as criticism or a complaint. It's a feedback. When we take everything that the parents tell us as a feedback, and from there we can, put our point across and make them aware of why a certain thing is being done, or take their opinion on things and go ahead with it. So we also have a very good system at our school here. We take a lot of suggestions from parents regarding programs, regarding any trips, or any other, something that the school is trying to do. So we do take a lot of feedback from parents. And there we get to know where we stand. Also, we also organize special programs where we include parents. Like, parents are like a major part of our school. For us, in any program, the parents are the chief guest. And, we invite them for every program. We give them space to put across their ideas. In fact, on the Independence Day, we were celebrating India Week, and we called for volunteer parents to set up food stalls. And we only wanted them to display the foods of their particular state and talk about its relevance and history and nutritional importance. But you'll be surprised, and bless those parents. They came up with boxes full of food, and they were just giving it for free to everybody to taste. And we had such a gala time and gave us such a great idea. We said, okay, next time, probably we'll have the entire thing on the parents. So this time they organized a part of it. Next time, probably they'll organize the entire thing for us.
Wonderful.
So that's how you work with your partners. That's why, parents are, we say parents are equal partners in their child's education. They can't be partners from outside the school walls.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how we include them, and that's how they realize they also understand the challenges the schools face. So, we are all on an equal platform at that time.
Ma'am, you have a long list of awards. I was going through your profile. So, ma'am, and especially that the one from MHRD. So, ma'am, what are these awards? Why were you endowed with them? And how do you feel about them?
Thank you so much. These are little, appreciations we get along the way, which make us feel that, okay, whatever we are doing, it's correct.
Yeah.
It motivates us to do even more. So the MHRD award was given to principals for their astounding CBSE board results. Yeah, and I think the other award that I really appreciate is the commendation card that I received from the General in Chief Commanding Officer from the Western Command, which is called GOC in C. It's generally for officers, but since I was a part of Army Public School Noida, so very few civilians get that award. So I was lucky enough to be, given that award.
And I'm here just in honor of being with you here today.
Thank you so much. And I think the other one was the Phenomenal She Award from the Indian Bar Association. They have a coffee table book in which they have featured 100 phenomenal women. And I feel God has been kind that they thought my profile was good enough to be included with these really astounding women. I feel probably out of the 100 women, my contribution I felt was probably not as great as some of the women who have worked for upliftment of the children in rural areas without any resources they've done. So I feel really honored that, I was a part of that.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, see yourself 10 years, 20 years later. What is one legacy that you want to be remembered by?
I think I want to be remembered as a person who was able to give the support when it was needed and give the support that was needed. That's all. So if I pray to God that nobody should turn around and say, she could have done it and she didn't do it. And that's my biggest fear. I think I mentioned that earlier too. So I think that's what I would like to be remembered for, that, okay, ma'am had the opportunity and she did it. And that's how, I want to be remembered.
Okay. So, ma'am, we've had a very serious conversation. Now for the fun part.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
It's going to be a sentence completion game in which you'll have mere 10 seconds and 20 seconds to answer. Okay? So, I will not be giving you too much time to think. Okay? Your autobiography would be called?
She Did It.
Wow, wonderful. You would rather live a life of what ifs or Koi Na Chalta Hai?
No, I think Koi Na Chalta Hai, because life is all about Koi Na Chalta Hai.
Try kiya.
You tried it and you went on and you try some more.
A movie or documentary you're most influenced by?
I think once I saw a documentary on History Channel on how Venice was built.
Okay.
And I was thoroughly impressed by the way the whole animation was done, and the fact that Venice is built on a swampy area.
Okay.
So I didn't know that. And the way they created spaces for collecting rainwater so they could have fresh water for drinking. And those turned out to be those fountains around the city. So that was one of the documentaries that impressed me the most.
A student achievement that made you teary-eyed?
That was one of a child had a medical condition, and that did not allow the child to walk and move about freely. 8 years he was there with me in the same school, and we on and off supported him as best we could. And then he did really well in his 10th class board examinations, and he featured in the newspaper as a special child. And I think I had left the school by then, probably, but his parents took the time to forward me the information, and that's what really touched me and left me teary-eyed. Yeah. I was so happy that, again, they felt that I could have done something, and I did it, and it was recognized. So that was something which I feel left me teary-eyed.
Well, I am also feeling emotional here. Ma'am, importance of TED Talks, exchange programs, so Olympiads, Spell Bees in a student's life.
I think these are very important exposures that we need to provide to our children. Like I said, today's world is not only about, curriculum and academics. It's about being aware of what's happening. So TED Talks or Spell Bees, they really help you improve yourself, make yourself better, do something more than what is written in the book or your syllabus.
Yeah.
So these are something which help the child to become better, help them to grow their brain, widen their horizon. And for that very reason, I feel Olympiads, not just because you are from an Olympiad. I've been a very strong proponent of Olympiads right from the beginning, since I was a teacher.
Okay.
And I feel they really help the child broaden their horizon and a little bit more than what's there in the syllabus.
Yeah.
True.
That's the purpose actually of all these engagements that
Absolute.
the children with.
Yeah.
Ma'am, for you, what is true leadership?
I think true leadership is telling your team what is to be done and then just letting them do it and feel ki ma'am was not really required. We did it ourselves.
That's true leadership for you.
I feel that's true leadership.
Okay.
At the end of it, they should say that we did it. We knew how to do it. What is she doing sitting in that office telling us this is how it is to be done? That is true leadership.
Wonderful. And ma'am, finally, one piece of advice for the policy makers.
I think the policymakers need to keep the children at the focus of whatever policy is being made.
Okay.
The policies should include the children as well in the decision making. That would be so nice. Our children, 14, 15 years, are old enough to be able to express themselves in such a manner.
So true democracy.
Absolutely. It should be like that. And when we keep the kids in the center of it, we will always end up doing the right thing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am. You have enlightened me on so many aspects and spheres. I think I'm moving out of this room as a better learner.
Thank you.
Yeah. With that, we come to a wonderful end to our conversation with ma'am. Stay tuned for more.